But I feel like one of the things that people kind of like scared of the most is losing their culture. You know what I mean? So that's why they don't, a lot of, families or a lot of cultures, they don't allow themselves to go over this bridge. If you haven't truly figured out the role that you play into this, you can't be a firm bridge.
There. Wow.
You know what I mean?
Welcome, everybody, to a 6-part limited series in partnership with the Diaspora Network. My name is Samuel Teka.
My name is Espoir Ndeba.
And we are glad to see you for another episode. Today, we are going to be talking about bicultural bridge building.
Yes.
We've been going through some topics, and if you're new here or you're just listening for the first time, just a quick recap. We've been talking about healing. We've been talking about identity. We've been discussing reclaiming and what that looks like, community. And then we are now on the topic of bicultural bridge building.
Yes.
And so just to define what that means, and I'm going to be defining some terms as we go on with this podcast. So bicultural bridge building means this. It's to develop skills of intercultural agility. So agility is this idea of being able to think and to understand quickly. And so oftentimes within cultures, especially different cultures or people who've grown up in different generations, they have a hard time thinking quickly, understanding quickly, being able to communicate or connect quickly, because maybe of a lack of knowledge or, the many different topics that you and I discussed in the previous episodes. And so today we're going to be discussing this, and I just thought it might be good to start off with maybe a little bit of what did it look like for you? I know you obviously grew up with immigrant parents, as did I.
Yes.
And we are always in the process. It's not like we've arrived or it's not like we've found the solution. No, we're always on the process of learning, growing, and understanding. But for you, what does it look like for you to have cultural agility, your ability to think quickly, to understand quickly what the other culture is saying or what they're doing, and without feeling a certain sense of hostility or anger, but you're just like, oh, I can understand where they're coming from. And then the follow-up to that is, how do you, in your personal experience, your story, bridge that gap with the other culture, with the other generation? Does that make sense?
For sure. Yeah, it does. It does.
Great.
No, that's a really good question. I think for me, I came here at a young age. Right? I came here when I was 8 years old. So I was literally I had to learn a new culture once I got here, but it wasn't just me; it's my whole family. So for me to kind of feel comfortable in this environment, right, in this new place that we're just moved in, obviously there is almost like anywhere anybody goes, there's like a list of priorities that you got to do for you to survive in that place, learn the language, right? The customs, how they live, and so. But as a kid, I think it was easier for me to adapt to. It's easier to adapt to this environment because, kids are like sponges.
Yeah,
they're just
soaking
up. 100%. And so, for me, so I kind of soak up a whole lot of what the U.S. was teaching me, but because I was a kid as well, a lot of what my culture also taught, or that I've part of my culture portions of it started to get replaced, right, with this new other information that I'm getting here.
That's right.
So because of that, I was able to kind of now be able to, when I'm at school, I'm an American.
Yes.
Right. I'm going, I'm like living as an American. And then I come back home, switch.
Yeah.
It's almost as like a new persona. Go back and I'm African again, and I'm Congolese again, and so. But at first, I struggled with that, and one of the episodes come is identity. So that thing kind of messes with your identity a little bit because then you get confused at first. Right, and so, but I was able to, because I would understand my American friends and my American mentors, and then again at home I also understand them. So in a sense, it wasn't until I got older where I understand that I'm the bridge, right? Like the necessary of me coming here was for me to bridge these two individuals, because there's no way.
How did you come to that conclusion?
It's because seeing how the struggles that I went through, first of all, trying to please both sides, right? But the whole time I wasn't pleasing myself. And so it got to a point where I'm just like, okay, well, I can't always be switching as soon as I walk out that door and be, act this way or think a certain way and then come home and then be a certain way. And there's not a right or wrong answer in that sense, but it just like, it damages you in a sense of, if you don't know the role that you play specifically as an immigrant in a country like this, then you can easily get lost.
Yeah.
So, but because of my own kind of struggles and seeing how my parents maneuver around and my siblings and my other friends and then seeing how people here in the U.S. how they live their life. So I was just like, oh, okay, I'm the gap, I'm the bridge that's literally that are connecting these two people to like understand each other, to be like, oh, okay, cool. So because they know Espoir. Right, my American, because they know Espoir, they can be like, oh, we can go to, they can take with me to like another African convention and be like, oh, we know Espoir, right? And so because they know me, right, there's that sense of like I'm that bridge that kind of like bring those two people together.
Yeah, very good. What did that look like? What did it look like for you to bridge the gap on a practical sense? Like, because you are in these two different cultures, as I am as well. Mine is Ethiopian and yours is Congolese. I was going to say Dominican. What?
I'll take
I was thinking of Democratic
Republic. I figure.
And so you at home it's Congolese. Outside of home, it's U.S. North American. Yeah. Same thing with me. Home Ethiopian, outside American. And so you recognized, I know both cultures, and I have to be the bridge builder.
Yes.
What did that practically look like for you to bridge the gap?
At first, it was uncomfortable because you did it was just like you were stuck in, for a lot of the parents or parents who might be listening to this, to what I felt when I was a kid, right? there was always some sort of like fear, right, that came of fully not for me not to fully show my American friend of the African side of me, right? And then the other way around to my African friends and parents, and for me not to show them the American side of you. So like, I will go to this side and I will hide one part of me, and I'll come to this side, I will hide the other part of me. And so, which is why, like, learning to embrace yourself, learning to understanding why you are put into this position, and the position you were put into it not by choice. Right, it's like your parents wanting a new opportunity for you, and so as a kid you don't know that, and so. But practicing it practicality wise, I started to do some sort of like events where like specifically like cultural events where we invite like people from South America, people from Iraq, people from Africa, right, to come dressed, their cultural stuff, and so they will bring their almost like a potluck type of thing, right? So in a sense of kind of just saying like, okay, I'm feeling this way. There probably a lot of people that are feeling this way, but like, what if we all embrace this? Very good, right? And so, but also like there was a camp that I used to go to when I was a kid called the Amala Foundation. I mean, it's called the Global Youth Peace Summit. I think it played a really big pivotal role for me understanding that I am bridge, because that camp used to unite over 108 youth from all across the world, from different backgrounds, different religions, to come all here in the U.S., specifically here in Austin and in California, for like one week camp retreat, where you get to learn about peace within yourself, where you get to learn about love, community, and things like that. So I got to practice that on a smaller level in that camp. So I got to be like, oh wow, okay. Whenever you truly get to embrace this, so that means if I go to hang out with my American friends, for me not to hide my Africanness, actually embrace that too.
Very good.
You know, because like that's
who you are.
That is who I am. I can never change that.
Yeah,
that's who I was first. Right, but also once I get home, to show my family, I'm like, hey, I know I'm African.
Yeah,
but I grew up here as well.
Very good.
This is the some other culture here that I've learned, that I go by, that I can't change, right? And then you start just by these two people appreciating you and loving you, right? They start to be like, okay, they can talk to these other people now. Like they feel comfortable to go this out, to try this new territory.
Yeah, right? Because they don't feel threatened to be something that they're not.
Exactly.
They feel comfortable enough in their own skin and their own identity, and they've reclaimed who they are, to feel comfortable enough to.
Yeah, because a lot of people, I feel like one of the things that people kind of like scared of the most is losing their culture. You know what I mean? So that's why they don't. A lot of families or a lot of cultures, they don't allow themselves to go over this bridge, because hey, if we go over there, we're going to lose who we are.
Yeah. Right.
But then again, that's not necessarily true. Right. Nobody's telling you to forget and to leave, abandon you. Yeah. No. Yeah. I think it's beautiful that you get to bring this and go teach them about who you are.
Very good.
But also get to learn about what they do.
Very good.
Right. So it's like that thing. The whole thing there is fear. But I can ask you the same questions of like you also have immigrant parents, right? So to you, what does the bicultural bridges specifically, like what does that mean to you, and how did it play a pivotal role in?
I mean, I think it's honestly verbatim what you said. Okay. I think in addition to that, what really caught my attention is what you said at the end. You said you then had the ability to learn about other people and their culture. Yes. And I think that's part of a lot of this conversation. And I'm just going to pull it up here, but Jonathan, who sent me when I was onboarding onto Diaspora Network, sent me this idea of like cultural agility. And I want to emphasize a lot about the idea of like learning. Yeah. And it's this quote of this professor who said this. She said, a cluster of competencies, this is what cultural agility is, a cluster of competencies that are associated with being able to successfully function in cross-cultural, multicultural, and international work environments. Cultural agility is especially important in roles that require frequent cross-cultural interchange and communication. And then she begins to list off the different competencies that allow you to function within different cultures. And then she talks about tolerance of ambiguity. We don't have time to get into all these right now. Perspective talking, cultural humility, resilience, relationship building, and then cultural curiosity. Cultural curiosity is what I want to point out, because it connects to the idea of like learning. I think we miss the quality of being curious. Right. And I think oftentimes the reason why we miss being curious of other people's culture or where they grew up, or to really understand their perspective, is because, again, it goes back to the whole idea of like healing and not understanding our identity and like reclaiming back who we actually are, that we are in the in-between. Right. And I think until those parts of us are established, we cannot have cultural agility in the sense of being curious about why do they think the way that they think? Why do they say what they're saying? Like, what's the story behind this? And I think for me, on a practical level, that's what it looked like for me to bridge the gap. I think it's me having the curiosity and saying, okay, this culture thinks this way. I may have not grew up in that culture. I may look like the culture in terms of I have brown skin and I could speak the language a little bit, but I think what helped me to understand the culture the most is one of these competencies, which is being curious about the other person and how they think. I think a second thing as well is storytelling. And I love that you said one of the ways, and we could put this on a macro level and then on micro level. I think you pointing out a macro level of creating events where different cultures could come into one building, one space under one roof and begin to have maybe food with one another, exchange conversation and dialogue, right? I think on a micro level, this is what it looks like in the home of what does it look like for children with their parents or parents with their children to gather together around the table. Remember what we talked about earlier? And I think it was the healing episode. Gather around the table and not just be curious, but ask for their story. Ask for their experiences. I think that's the way to bridge the gap.
100%.
Is when you begin to have curiosity and we begin to ask their story. You get a full frame and an understanding of how they think and how they believe and how they really behave, you know, as a different culture. Does that make any sense?
100%. Yeah, 100%. No, yes. Like it's one of the key points to actually, like, you know, bridging the bicultural breathing specifically, or bridging the gap, is like I like what you said also on the part of, like, you know, not just on the macro level but also on the micro level. It's like in the homes.
Yes, in the homes.
It's like I think one of the biggest things is that parents tend to forget that their kids are living a different life that they are.
Very.
Right? Like very
different.
Complete. They have no idea, because a lot of immigrant parents they always come to notice something about their kid when it's too late.
Yes. When they're old enough.
And then they're just like, we don't know what happened. Like and guess who they blame? US.
Yeah, very true.
Right? So, America is doing this to our kids.
So we gotta send them back to Africa. Yeah,
right. So it's
it's relatable. Yeah.
When, you know, so there's a whole thing of, but like they can all be avoided by communication in the home.
Talk about it, man.
Right. And so it's like, but also that's one of the things that the child, as the bridge builder, right, needs to start teaching the parents, but teaching in terms of just you don't have to go and have a deep conversation with them right away if you guys are not at that level yet.
Sure.
But sit down with them for at least 5 minutes. Just ask them about back home.
Yeah.
Tell me the stories about back home.
Very good.
What was it like? Right? My grandmother, what did he do? What did we do? Did we used to garden? Right? So like, there's a part that I feel like as a kid that can also play, right? Because a lot of the immigrant parents, most of them never really went to school. Right. So, and a lot of them are not going to come to this mindset of just like, I need to sit down and talk to my kid about how their day is going, how they're this. I always tell this thing to the youth that I mentor. I'm like, hey, if you struggling with something and you, like, specifically from your culture, talk to your parent.
Very good.
They're just like, I'm like, I know the fear of, you know, you talking to them and whatever they might respond back, but 80% of the time they're going to surprise you.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
I'm gonna go even higher. 90% of the time they're going to surprise you.
Very true. Yeah.
Right? Because they're going to be like, oh, they also don't understand this thing. So, but also on the parent, like curiosity as well. That's needed for the parent to be like, okay, I'm in this, specifically since they came into this new territory.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. So like you can come into, in a sense, somebody's house and try to make it your own. Right? You need to talk to this person before you change any furniture. You need to be comfortable with this person before you know, go just go and wash the dishes or do anything in that house. You guys need to be comfortable. Yeah. You need to know how they like their, you know, their living room, how they like their decorations before you just go and change it. Right? So it's like for a lot of parents or a lot of immigrants, or refugees, Once we got here in America, they were just like, okay, we're here. We can change anything we want.
Yeah.
And the US is just like, oh, we also have a set of rules. And you guys can deny it, but your kids are not going to.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so where it becomes a problem, it starts on that micro level.
Yes.
Right? That grows, right? And then whenever they're trying to fix it, they're trying to fix it on a micro level. And they're just like, hey, the root is down there. Right? And so in
on
a sense,
macro level.
Yes,
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
so it's like the which, you know, again, one of the biggest thing that to me that I feel like can easily be one of the first steps to truly get to build the steps to this whole bridge, you know, for the parents and all these other people to cross and intermingle and go to church together, you know, it's literally both the kid, right, and the parent to do their part. So the kids, hey, yes, you growing up here, you were born here. Ask them about your culture there. Yes. 'Cause that's what they want to teach you. Yes. Right. And so, but the parents also ask your kids how they're doing. Very good. Right. Ask them how they're doing. Because yes, well, on my previous podcast, on my own podcast, we had a discussion about what does it mean to be a man. And one of the things I was telling my co-host, I was just like, how a lot of immigrant parents have never told their kids that they love them. Right. And he was just like, wow, that's so bad. I was just like, no, listen, like they don't, it's not like that they don't tell them because they don't love them. That was never expressed to them by their culture. They don't need to tell the kid that they love them. Very good. Like their action and what they do is the love. That's the love language. Exactly. So just like, but once they get here, I said that, okay, if they get here and they see how this love is being expressed, they have to also see how their kid is struggling, how this now affect their kids. Yeah. Right. And then still the biggest thing is that communication as well. So I feel like, but specifically for the bicultural bridges or building, the kid needs to play like their part. Big time. And the parents also need to also play that part. Yeah. And I want to double down on that because you can't have curiosity and run into conclusions at the same time. That's good. Because if you're always concluding about your parents or about that other individual who's from a different culture, about how they might think or what they might say or what they might do, you'll never be curious. 100%. And so you always have to kind of remove judgment in a sense. You kind of have to remove your own conclusions, or here's another word, your assumptions of what you think is going to happen. And you have to be curious because you can't have curiosity and come to conclusions at the same time. It's only when you're curious that you come to a conclusion, right? And so I think that's so important to understand. Also, another thing that I want to say, there's two things I want to say. The other thing is that this doesn't just work on a nuclear family level. This works within an organizational level. This works within a church level. I think church, I mean, even talking about that, like not just between parents and kids, but between the church, the community, 100%. The family of God. I think oftentimes many times, especially within the immigrant church, if there's a first generation church that has second or third generation within it, there's always a lot of miscommunication, a lot of hostility, a lot of division that takes place. And I think this aspect, again, there's so much more, but this idea of like being curious and asking what their story is, I think helps to bridge that gap as well. The last thing I want to say is that it starts with you. Yes, that's good. I think this is what you pointed out. I think anytime we want to see a change in the world, we often point the finger and we say, you change and then I'll change. But that's not how it works. Anytime you want to see change in the world, change in your family, change in whatever environment that you're in, it always has to start with you. 100%. Always has to start with you. If you want to see
more healing take place, you have to ask yourself, am I healed?
100%.
If you want to see more peace taking place, you have to ask yourself, am I a peacemaker?
100%. Yeah.
If you want to see more joy, you have to ask yourself, am I a joyful person?
100%. 100%.
It always starts
with you. No, that is so good, because the same summit that I used to go to as a youth, we had the exact same saying, right? Just like we used to say, be the change you want to be in the world.
There we go.
Right. And so, and there used to be a thing we used to say, like, if you want to see joy in the world, go outside and be joyful.
There we go.
If you want to, like, you be that change, you be that. So I think that's so good, because people always tend to, like, instead of like them being that, they want, like you said, somebody else to be that.
There we go.
So they can receive.
Yes.
Just like,
yes.
like, that's not how that works.
Yeah, no.
Right. It's like, the reason why that's this thing you're not seeing is because you're like limiting, you're limiting your own seed to actually grow, to actually be this thing.
Yes.
Right. And so, and I think for a lot of, immigrant youth and young adults, even parents, they have buried, or they have blocked their trees, their seeds, their, from growing, right? Because of not freeing themselves to fully get to be able to just give this other side a chance. And,
because think about what would happen. Like, what would happen if people became bicultural bridge builders? What would you see? You would see unity.
You would see unity, 100%.
You would see love taking place. You would see self-control. You would see less angry people.
100%. Yeah.
Honestly, you would see an environment that cultivates people who have the fruit of the spirit, man. But it's so crazy, because you can't say it starts with me unless you're healed, unless you have that identity, and unless you have reclaimed it. You can't just go to bicultural bridge building. You have to have some healing.
You have to have some healing in your life,
because it's not until you get healing that you're able to look beyond yourself, and then begin to think about and consider other people too. Right. Does that make sense?
100%. So it's one of those things that which we kind of say, but there's multiple layers or multiple steps.
Yeah.
That, healing identity, right?
Yeah.
That kind of gets you to get to this point of saying, okay, I know me now. I know the role that I play.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
If you haven't truly figured out the role that you play into this, you can't be a firm bridge.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So like, you were still the bridge, right? But anything that come across it always never actually gets through.
Very good.
You know what I mean? But like, once you like found your identity, and then that bridge is strong. And, you're actually able to manage the access of which information coming, people going.
Very good.
Right. So again, and it's like the whole point of also even you being that bridge is, a lot of people are selfish and they want to take the credit.
Yes.
Like, you were never meant to take the credit. You were just meant to be, the helper to get this person there.
Yeah. Very good. Yeah.
Just because like somebody else played that role for you.
Yeah. Very good.
Right. So it's like the amount of bridges or people that we walk across that we don't acknowledge. Right. So they know their identity. They know their healing. They know their part.
Very good.
Do we know our part?
Yeah.
Right. Do we know our part? And
that's so good. Yeah. Very good. So just a couple practical tools for those that are listening that we could just take from this conversation. I think number one, it starts with you.
Yes.
It starts with you.
Yeah.
And the only way that it could start with you is if you go through that process of healing and understanding your identity as someone who is in between. In between, yeah. And then reclaiming, your identity as well. You could then begin to look beyond yourself and begin to consider others as well. That's number one. Number two, just remind me if I lose one.
No, you're good.
Another one is curiosity. You got to be curious.
You got to be curious.
Got to ask questions.
Yes.
You can't conclude on why they do what they do, why they say what they say, why they think the way that they think. Be curious.
Yes.
And then number 3 is storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
Create environments where you guys could exchange stories.
100%.
Right?
100%.
And I think, and by the way, there's much more than that. But I think when we begin to do these things, we begin to form that bridge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then people begin to cross it, and it's firm.
Yeah. Yes.
Because, people understand who
100%.
they are. You want to add anything?
Yeah, yeah. I think it's one of those things that when it's practiced correctly,
yeah,
it can create, probably the most it can have an effect on so many people.
Yeah.
Right. Because by you understanding your role, by you understanding you being a bridge, right? You have no idea the amount of people that are waiting to cross.
Good. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
it's good.
You know what I mean? Like, there's so many people they're just like, we can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know anything.
They're waiting on you.
They're waiting on you. Right. The parent and the child. And so it's like understanding truly. But all this can all be started by exactly what you said. Right. Yeah. All those things that you mentioned, right? Curiosity. And so, but honestly think like I think it's the uncomfortability that both party feels.
Yes.
It's a good thing.
Yes. Yes.
And it should be researched. It should be
explored.
Should be explored. Thank you. That's the word that I was looking for. Like, it should be explored.
Very good.
Right. Like, see what that thing is. Because I always tell, other youth that I mentor, I tell them, I'm just like, hey, depression, anxiety, specifically those two, and any other ones you can name, they just brings information.
Yeah.
So they're mailmen.
Yes.
Of information.
Yeah.
So I'm like, depression is not the problem. What depression brings to you. It's just telling you, hey, I was sent, with this trauma that you faced, right? So here, right? And he's bringing it to you. And so, but if all you do is trying to take away depression or anxiety, you will never get to truly get to the root of your problem.
Yeah.
But if you actually get to go on a micro level of seeing why you're struggling with this thing, where did this come from, right?
Yeah.
Like, why is this depression thing is there? Why can't this parent talk to, right? Why are you uncomfortable speaking to your kids?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Kids, why are you uncomfortable speaking to your parents? Right? Is it because of the culture? Is it because of your culture and where you're from? Like, to that same example of like, in Africa, I couldn't tell. I'm not gonna go and tell my parents about these things that I'm going through, right? Because of that is not practiced.
Yeah.
But you in an environment where that it's going to come out one way or the other.
Yeah.
Right. So if you don't actually take the control of it, it's going to destroy, right, both parties. And so understanding that, just communicating, right, and admitting this level, being vulnerable to each other in that sense. And so, again, like, kind of going back to asking them, tell me about my background, where we're from, right? What do we, what did we believe? Were we Christians? Were we not Christians? What, just all these things that going to help you first help you understand your identity, and you to heal from all these things, so you can actually be this firm bridge that we're talking about. And so that way, all these people that you not even know who are just waiting to come on the other side and actually be very...
What a great note to end on, to know that people are waiting on you. They're waiting on you.
They're waiting on you.
You're the difference that God is wanting to use
100%.
To bridge the gap, to be a bicultural bridge builder.
Right.
I think that's so beautiful. It's a heavy responsibility, but a rewarding one.
100%.
A very rewarding one, because there's a lot of healing that takes 100%. Place in that.
This whole bicultural, but it's reminding me of Moses.
Yeah.
There
it is.
Just like, just him and the weight of, of him just like, leading people, trying to lead the Israel to the promised land, and everything that they had to come across, splitting of the water, right? The pharaohs, everything.
Wow.
Right. And so it just like the same. It's like I feel like every single one of us is called to something.
Very.
Right. You're a pastor, you know more on this than I do. So just like we're all called to something. And so just like if we don't play our part, there's always going to be those who are enslaved in that sense of
Yes,
enslaved to their own mind, and
very much so.
And you are the one who was supposed to set them free, who was supposed to play this role, and so. But that's what is the fear of like. I guess that's like another fear of like, if you know what your role is and ignore it, that's that can be really dangerous.
Yeah.
Because now you understand that there's people, who you are responsible for.
Yeah.
Like it is you who are going to help them cross this.
Yeah.
Cross this ocean, cross this river. So but if you also have this thing of like, I don't know who I am, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. If you don't know who you are, you have your parents who are from a specific place. Sit down with them and be like, hey, I'm trying to find.
Yeah.
I'm confused right now.
Trying to connect the dots.
Dots. Like at least stop trying to just see the who you are already. Start from like, okay, let's start from scratch. Where my family's from, where we're from. Start from there.
Yeah.
Right. So like go into the process of actually saying like, where we're from, where my grandparents are from, where my parents are from, what do we speak, what do we eat.
Yes.
So you can at least have some sort of base of like, okay, at least I'm here.
Yeah.
I know, and then move on to the United States. Okay, so cool. This is what, this is what I'm,
good.
And so now you can be like, oh, great. I know now.
Yes.
So you understand that role. And so, but yeah.
Thank you for bringing that up because I think that's what the Diaspora Network is all about, right? Moses, born a Hebrew, grew up in Egypt and was a diaspora. He was scattered.
Yes.
And God had a responsibility for him to go back to his own people, right? To go back to a country he's known to grow up in. Yeah. And I think I'm saying this because it's just reminding me, like forget other people who are watching. It's for them, and we're doing this for them. But just for me, it's just such a great reminder. Wow, God, you've called me to be here in North America as a second-gen Ethiopian to be a bridge builder. Because if I actually accept who I am, I reclaim it, I find the healing that I need in the Lord, man, there are miracles awaiting.
100% miracles. Yeah, that's so good.
There are miracles awaiting.
So good. Yeah.
There's unity awaiting. There's so much that God wants to do in me, through me, in us, through us. And again, it's a heavy responsibility, but it is probably one of the most rewarding. I was about to say that, most rewarding responsibility because I know what it's like to be in the thick of division. I know what it's like to be in the middle of hostility because both cultures are not understanding each other. There's 100%. No bridge formed. But when you do see that bridge begin to form, man, just the gravitas, like the weight, the beauty of seeing that, man, is just so remarkable. And 100%. So I think this is us just encouraging people who are watching and listening. Hey, you're a Moses.
100%. Right.
You're a Moses. God is calling you. And
no, 100%. And the fear, right? Doesn't the fear doesn't hold. I guess I'm trying to say, like, the fear doesn't hold more power than the joy that you're going to experience by actually living your truth, right? It's like the fear right now. It's you feel like it's heavy, but the reward that comes with actually it surpassed that, right? And very it becomes that energy repurposed, gets repurposed, and it literally like goes into now this thing of you said something amazing. It's just like the part of that bridge is not just for here in the U.S. of like bridging our African side or our African culture to the American culture, but it's also bridging our Africans, right, to even understand about this. First, because I don't know how it was for you, but whenever you went back to Ethiopia, right, and you stayed there for a while, I'm sure there was a lot of kids who were just like, whoa, right, like he's Ethiopian, like, oh, like he does he lives. So because they seen somebody who shares their culture, their ethnicity, who's have the same blood as they do, right? Is living this. So and then the whole thing of like, okay, it's not a dream anymore. It's not a fantasy.
It's a reality.
Because they can touch you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because they can touch you, they can hear you.
Very good.
Okay, I can get there now.
So good.
Right? And so there's a lot of kids back home, right? Who are, because of you accepting this role, you freeing so many people from like
big time
the possibility of which they can actually get to.
Big time.
Right?
Big
but
time.
also like even the kids here in the US, the American kids, right? When you embrace who you truly, let me say that to myself, like once I got to truly embrace who I am, a lot of the good values from my culture, a lot of my US friends started to learn it. Right? So they were just like, oh, I didn't know this could be.
Very good.
So you know what I'm saying? So they were just like, and so also like to those kids, don't be afraid of actually embracing your culture and who you are.
Yeah, very good.
Like it's needed on those friends that you have.
So good.
Right? Because it's like, that's literally the beauty part of about who you are. You know?
Okay, so let me just ask you one more question on a lighter note. And it's connected to what you said before. What's one thing from your culture that you rejected that you now accept?
That's
that, and it could be funny, it could be serious, it could be whatever.
Honestly, I think was that I rejected that I now accept.
Yeah.
I think it was the
clothing.
Clothing.
Okay.
I never wore any African clothing at all.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
And
I'm
then
the same way.
No, seriously, I never, anywhere. And so it wasn't until like previously that I started to embrace that.
Yeah.
You know,
cool.
But it was as soon as I got out of high school.
Yeah.
I was just like, wait, why do I? Once I got to college and I met a different set of people.
Yeah.
I was just like, okay, cool. They actually like this.
Yeah.
And I saw somebody who was embracing their culture.
Very good.
And I felt bad about it. I was just like, okay, you know what? But once we got to that like multicultural gathering thing, and they were just like, oh, it's good.
That's amazing.
Yeah. What about you?
Mine would be the dance.
The dance.
Yeah. Do you know the Ethiopian
Yeah, I know the Ethiopian dance. Yeah.
It's called iskista.
Okay.
It's the one where you just move your shoulder like this. Bro, I remember I used to be so embarrassed of doing it because I don't know. I just never accepted it. But now I'm like a shaking leaf now, bro. Anytime I go to Ethiopian party, I'm shaking my shoulder all day, man.
That's beautiful. No, serious. Me was the
That's
clothes.
awesome.
The clothes were, I'm just like, okay,
that's
I don't,
great.
you know. But that's amazing.
Cool.
It's amazing.
Cool. Well, man, I hope you guys got something from this. I know I did.
No,
me
too.
Yeah. I was encouraged and also felt just empowered as well.
Yeah. And
so I hope you guys got something from it as well. And honestly, let us know if you guys have comments or you guys like these episodes, these podcasts. You know, we're talking and we're like, are we going to continue? Are we not going to continue? But, you know, I think if you guys do like it and you guys get value from it, we are more than glad to continue it and to go down this route. And so anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in. God bless you. Bye-bye.
Bye.